The gritty, grimy, funky Raptors, that's right, you heard it correctly here, have started the season off with a 6-5 record, fighting every single game, and have propelled themselves to that mark in the season on the back of their scrappy, long, athletic defense. And that is what has put them top 5 in many defensive categories, including steals and blocks per game. Recently, with Siakam sustaining a groin injury, the Raptors hosted the first of 2 games in a back-to-back mini-series with Chicago. Chicago, who was hoping to propel themselves to a record of 500. There were questions on how they might be able to pull off this win, how they would be able to fare in the first game. But something interesting happened. A certain rookie center, who many Raptors fans were unsure about, started his 5th game in Koloko. We zoom in first on the first quarter. With just 9 minutes remaining, the Bulls had plans to push their 7-2 lead to a 9-2 lead. But Koloko rotated down the lane to erase the possibility of that happening with his emphatic block on a certain Patrick Williams. After that, around 2 minutes later, Patrick Williams drives down the lane, and with him getting a slight advantage on Scottie Barnes, with his first step, Koloko again rotated over to give Mr. Williams the reminder that another score was not to be allowed, definitely not in Koloko's house. Barely 20 seconds after that, Williams hadn't had enough again, gets free for a score to put the Bulls up by 4. Only Koloko again reads the play, sneaks over, and lets his length do the work. Koloko was giving the Bulls the business, but it wasn't just his defense that was up on full display this game. I've long said that the 33rd overall selection for the Raptors had a knack for making great passing reads in the NCAA, especially in his final year. Moments after the last block, Koloko set the first of 2 picks for OG to get free. As OG cut down to the hoop, Koloko used his court vision, demonstrated right around here, to spot a cutting OG and hit him for the reverse open dunk. And guess what? That hasn't been the first time this season where Koloko has shown a knack for passing. If we rewind a few games back against Miami, the second game, where he actually didn't get kicked out, of course, after catching the ball in a pick and roll scenario, he showed a beautiful turnaround pass to an open Flynn in the corner and splashed that 3 down through the net for the score. Beautiful play. Anyways, back to the Bulls game. We're just mere moments away from the previous block and assist. We see Koloko's mobility, defensive versatility, and IQ on full display. He starts doubling DeMar above the key. All the while, this allows the spry 22-year-old the chance to rotate over into perfect position to seal off the paint for another welcome to Koloko moment for Patrick Williams, of course. Later in the game, in the second quarter, when Williams had decided that he had a little bit of enough of getting stymied, Caruso took his chance. He blew past Fred VanVleet only to feel a very familiar, tall, athletic presence behind him, there to greet him with a beautiful swat from behind. Then finally in the third quarter, Koloko sees Vucevic running down to get the ball in transition. Koloko catches him for a chase down block, good for his 6th of the game. That is correct, his 6th of the game. Let's pause. If we pause right here, rewind that play back and take a closer look, take a closer inspection, we will see what makes this play so unique and so special. It was actually Koloko's vision and his ability to see the pass being thrown to Vooch in transition that spurred the young 7-footer into action. So now, having seen Koloko in action, I feel a lot more confident saying that the Raptors picked someone really, really special. His rim protection, mobility as a combination have provided the Raptors with the ability to stick to a positionless lineup and be even more hyper-focused on their switches, knowing that they have someone in the back line that's able to help them.
And listen, if he protects the rim as well as I think he does, I think that always gives you a chance, if it's possible, to be even more aggressive, right, out on the wings and funnel things in and try to be even more in lanes and more handsy and more, turnover driven, right, and not have to pay for it if you gamble and make some mistakes. Maybe you can have somebody save some of those mistakes at the goal.
It's almost as if Nurse could see clairvoyantly into the future, see that potential that was on full display throughout that Bulls game. And even though it's only been 9 games into the season, Koloko is holding opponents' shooting percentage around the rim to around 54.6%. And that stacks up pretty well against other elite bigs in the league. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time on the next edition of these types of videos. If you enjoyed this type of content, if you like it, please subscribe. Please comment down below. It helps me with the algorithm. Share the video. And until next time, this has been kind of a new type of breakdown episode on Basketball Rewind. Peace.